And gentlemen, if I could watch a video 7 years ago on what it takes to be a multi-millionaire, this video would be it. Now there's a lot of fluff out there on the internet, but here's my honest advice on what's helped me get to $10 million to my name by the age of 21. And by the way, that's not net worth, that's liquid between my investments and my cash reserves. Now over the last 7 years, I've been immersed in the world of self-development, and over the last 5 years of running my business, I tried absolutely everything under the sun. And today, I'm gonna share the most powerful 7 habits with you. And I think there's gonna be quite a few in here that are gonna shock you. Now, the first habit that made me a multi-millionaire by the age of 21 is reading. And I know this sounds super cliche. Trust me, we're about to get onto some ones that will shock you. But honestly, if there's one thing that I can credit to my success, it's the fact that from the year of 2014 to 2017, I read a book every single week. Knowledge! Because ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, there is no medium that's as powerful on earth as books. And by the way, I don't care who you are, you should be reading. And I don't care what medium you read in. You know, there's some people who prefer audiobooks these days. For me personally, it goes in through one ear and straight out through the other. And I don't care where you get your books from. I remember back in 2016, I would always used to vlog Sundays when I would go to Brixton Bookmongers in London, which was my favorite bookstore, because rather than buying something at Waterstones for 15 pounds, I could get something used that barely didn't even look like it was used for £2-3 at Brixton Bookmongers. And if you can't even afford to spend £2-3 on a book, just borrow one from a friend or go to the library. Because one of the most powerful things I actually found about reading at that time, you know, when you haven't, I guess in the material world, you haven't accrued an insane amount of success, or because one of the most powerful things about reading at that time or at that stage of my self-development was the fact that I had what's known as Zen beginner's mind. You know, for me, everything was new and I didn't have any ego attached to executing on the stuff that I was learning about, right? A book would tell me, hey, meditate. So I started meditating. A book would tell me, hey, start journaling. So I'd start doing that. A book would tell me, you know, to do these self-development tricks, and I would just execute, you know, without really thinking. Whereas, unfortunately, one of the things that I think still gets in my way to this day when it comes to reading is my ego, right? Because I'll read a book and I'm more selective about what I choose, which I guess is a good thing as well. Because, you know, I pick out the bits that I resonate with and I think would slot well into my life. Whereas back then, when I first started reading, for me, it was just like, okay, book says do this, so just execute, almost like blindly execute. And look, if you pick the right books, that strategy can be extremely powerful. So that is habit number 1. I don't care how you read, but when you are first getting started on your business, your entrepreneurial, or maybe even just your career path, you have to read books. To me, that's a non-negotiable.